In this video, we're gonna learn how to groom and style the puppet fur so he looks like this. People often ask me if I use an electric razor to trim the puppet. I'm sure it'll work, but I've never done it. I only use scissors. And I feel like scissors would be better anyway, because even though I try to trim it as evenly as I can, those small imperfections kind of give it character. And before you start chopping away, think about how you want it to look. You can create some cool illusions with leaving the fur longer in some places. So if you were to add ears to this puppet and leave the fur longer right here, it would look kind of like a cat. Sometimes for the hands, I like to trim the whole arm and hand, except for the fingertips to get a little bit of extra movement. Sometimes I just leave it a little longer on top. That's what I think I'm gonna do today. Here we go. Alright, he's mostly trimmed up. I think I'm going to leave him with a little bit of a beard and a little bit of fuzz on top. I personally like my monsters with a kind of scruffy look. Sometimes I even tease the fur further by gently rubbing it. Another thing you can do is comb the hair out. That gives the puppet a completely different look. I think I'm gonna tease it out some more, and then I'm gonna add some ostrich feathers on the head. I'll show you how that's done. So here are some ostrich feathers. I was lucky enough to find these at a garage sale. They're also sold as Fringe, which is way more convenient. There's a link to that down below. Obviously, you can use whatever colors you want. These are just a couple that I have lying around. I wanted to mix the pink in anyway, because I think it'll blend well with the fur, kind of make a nice transition. And I couldn't decide between the blue and the black, so I'm actually gonna use a little bit of both. We'll see how it turns out. You can pull the feathers off into little tufts. It's best to grab them from the base and gently pull. Or if you really want to, you can just use scissors and cut them at the base. Now that we have all these feathers, I want to bundle them into little tufts of about 4 or 5. For this, fabric tack is the best thing to use. I start off by putting a little dollop in my finger, and then just add the feathers to the base of that. And once I have a bunch of feathers, I just gently twist it between my fingers. There we go. Now this is one tuft. You can make as many or as few of them as you want. My plan is to make 8 to 10 of these little tufts and spread them out evenly on top of the head. I got a special little trick for doing that too, so hold on. All right, I made 10 of these tufts. Let's put them on. Now I'm gonna plan out where to put them by using pins, just to make sure I get a pretty even distribution. You wanna try to make it as symmetrical as possible. So I have them pretty evenly spread out around the head. And I'm gonna use the fabric tack again to attach it. Now you could just glue them in, but I think the best way to do it is to use the awl again. Using the awl, I can push through the fur into the foam. If I can get this all the way into the foam, it has a better chance of sticking straight up. Otherwise, the whole unit will move around with the fur, rather than just the tips. So here we go. I know it looks a little morbid. There's one. And there it is. The method for attaching the eyes to a fur character is a little different than a fleece character. For a fur character, you have to shave down the fur where the eye goes. That way you can glue the eye directly to the netting. Otherwise, you risk a chance of the eye wiggling around. It just won't be as secure. I'm gonna cast some eyes real quick. Click here for a video on how to cast the eyes. I just sanded the backs and gave these a nice coat of paint. Sanding the backs gives the glue a little bit more to hold on to. So now I gotta map out exactly where I want these eyes to be. Could have them nice and low or high. Once I find out where I want to put the eyes, I put pins all around it to kind of map it out. So it's all pinned up, marking the spot. So now I want to trim that fur inside there all the way down to the netting. I like to use the contact cement for the eyes. Now for today, I'm just going to use the white eyes. Click here for a video on how to put eyelids on your eyes. Be careful not to get any glue where you don't want it. It's never good. Now we have to let the contact cement get tacky before we apply it. There's the other. Make sure you don't have any little hair fibers sticking under there. Okay. I'm going to carefully pull those pins out. Now press it down firmly for good attachment. My hand inside there. There he is. All right. Those eyes are firmly attached. Now I'm going to add the pupils and the rest of the facial details. There he is, and he's all done. He's a real fun little character. Looking back, I wish I actually gave him some smaller pupils. It would make him look a little bit more zany. So that's something I might change moving forward. Other than that though, I'm really happy with him. He's a fun little character. Once you make or use this pattern, it's just the foundation, like a skeleton of it. You can interchange all the features, different colors of fur. I could easily use the same pattern to make a completely different character. Actually, this puppet that I made a couple months ago was made from pretty much the same pattern. I can't wait to see the puppets that you build using these techniques. Feel free to post them in the Cruton Drew Puppets tutorial Q&A, or tag me in them on Instagram. Instagram's a good place to follow me too if you want to see a bunch of my other projects. There's a ton of projects that I do that I don't have time to film, but I always put pictures or small clips on my Instagram, so be sure to follow me there. So that's it for this tutorial series. Let me know what other tutorials you'd like to see. I'm probably gonna make another version of this guy with an iMac. I'm hoping to do a video on that too. And if you like these videos, make sure to hit that subscribe button and don't forget to ring the bell too. That way you'll get notified as soon as I put up another video. Alright, see you guys next time.